Anton from Pacific Pressure Cleaning
Oh, I love Anton.
said, around building a business from scratch and more about what you do.
Oh, all right. Building a business from scratch is never easy. It's so hard. And probably what we do, we're sort of 5 years into it now, but if we're thinking back, I think probably the first thing that comes to my mind is like what we call the hustle season.
Yeah.
It's where you're working full time or you've got a full-time job, life's happening, and you're like, I've had enough of this rat race and I want to start a business.
Yes.
That is probably the hardest season.
Yes.
Things that we did during that time. What did we
Stress.
do?
You're burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah, but I think it's a season that if you do it wisely, it has, like, we didn't come from some big funding background. No. It was just our full-time job, living not week to week, but saving a little bit. There was no we can leave our job and have a full-time paycheck straight away.
I think the difference, though, is when you've got a full-time job and you've got your hustle that you're trying to turn the hustle into a full-time business. I think the difference is that you are enjoying the hustle, and I think that's what gets you through. It's exhausting, it's hard, it is really tough. Wins. But it's the little wins along the way, by getting an extra client, by getting an extra referral, by getting something extra. That's what keeps you pushing, and then you get to a stage where you're juggling both and you're like, oh, could I step out in full time? And then that's another faith leap in itself, because you're like, okay, now I'm going to leave my full-time security into my full-time hustle that I'm now turning into a business. And that's scary too. But that's starting a business from scratch. Is you're doing, I think people underestimate the steps that you need to go to do it for it to become a full-time business.
And I think that's probably where a lot of people stop.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like on the other side of that mountain. Not every business, but on the other side of that mountain, there is that I'm now in business full time. And probably not a lot of people know, but in the early days of Clean Space Co., I had a business partner.
Yeah.
So we were working weekends, we were cleaning builders' houses, leading up to Christmas. Do you remember that one? You were there cleaning the kitchen. We had all that
red dirt everywhere.
It was hectic. But that was that hustle season. I'd work Monday to Friday on salary for Build Safe, and then I was working after hours, weekends doing the hustle for Clean Space. And my business partner, which probably, as I look at it now, I was like really scared to do it by myself. And I just had Will, who was amazing back then. He stepped in and he came in and invested $15,000 into the business. And we literally sat there and we're like, how are we going to make this work? And I was like, I can live off $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, what you're investing in is me.
Yeah.
I will make it work. I got 15 weeks to go out and get enough customers before that money dries out. And then I want to also be able to return that money to him. So, and I'm pretty sure we never even used it. I'm pretty sure since the week one, we might have used it in week one, $1,000, but from then on out, I think there's power in backing yourself into the wall sometimes. I tell a lot of people this. It's like when you are backed into the wall and you don't have a second option, you got kids and you got a family and a partner and a mortgage and all this stuff going on, you will make it work if you want it.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. Hence scrubbing toilets.
Yeah.
You will make it work. You have to just start.
Even if it's a lawn mowing business, you don't need all the equipment. I think that's the big misconception, is that I need it to be this big lavish thing.
They want the best trailer set up.
But people see that, but those people have had those businesses for 10, 15 years. So they've got longevity to be able to purchase all that stuff and to be like, I've got security in this. But you actually don't. You just need to start with even if you've got your old lawnmower, who cares? See if this will work. You don't need, you just got to start.
Back in the day when I was 16, 17, I would advertise on Gumtree. I remember my first big job, my best mate Isaac did it with me. And it was a local Chinese shop. And I was probably I just had my license. I might have been 19 or something. And I would go in there and I'd buy Chinese takeaway food. And he asked me about some gardening. I don't even know how we got on the topic. I was like, I could do it. Quoted it for $2,000.
Oh my god!
It was a big job. It was a landscaping job. We had to pull out all the old bark, put rocks in there. It was all.
But you weren't a landscaper?
I was not a landscaper, but I was confident that I could do it. Yeah. It wasn't a crazy building concrete architecture. Yeah. It was just we were redoing his garden beds, weeding it, and we went and did it, and we did the job. We completed it, gave him the price, and we got paid. And I remember then I was just like, we just made this work with 2 hands and a ute. And we got a couple of grand.
And a willing spirit.
Yeah, and a willing spirit. But I think that's the difference where people get stuck, is they're not willing to start. So long story short for Anton's question, I think, is just putting yourself out there to be able to use what you have in your hands and make it work.
Yeah.
And Anton is a Pacific pressure cleaning company. So pressure cleaning. My very first pressure cleaner was a Karcher, little Karcher from Bunnings, and we were doing builders cleaning, and I was doing acid washes in the garage on the exposed slabs with that, and I was getting $150 per slab, and it added 45 minutes to our task. So I bought the pressure cleaner for $150, paid it off within the first clean, and then that was a service that we tacked on, and then about a year later, a pressure cleaner came up for sale that we bought secondhand, and I've still got that pressure cleaner till today, and it still goes hard. So it was just starting with what we could afford, paying it off, saving our money, upgrade. So I think just start where you're at.